Leeds United came this close to signing Emi Buendia this summer. Junior Firpo gives Leeds United the green light for his contract extension. Structural and mechanical engineers are working tirelessly to bring Ellen Road's stadium capacity up to 53,000. And Ramazani tells fans why Leeds United are better than Real Madrid. What's going on, Budget team? Welcome back to another episode of South Stand Stories, the series. Of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it. I start off with this man, Mr. Angus Kinnear. Of course, on the lips of every Leeds United fan, he has recently been on the Square Ball podcast, one of the last few stalwarts of both the Ramazani and 49ers Enterprise era of Leeds United, has come out and said a few things about the current state of affairs at the club, of course, regarding Leeds United's treacherous summer. What I will say also, before we do get into this Emi Buendia take right here, is that he's an absolute geezer for this. Like, let's be real, he is a bit of a geezer. The fact that he's come out, in someone in his position on the board of a club, nobody in these top clubs in the Premier League, Championship, whatever, would put themselves out on a public domain like that and expose themselves to the masses in the way that he has. And speaking of geezers, this man, Mr. Emi Buendia, is a bit of a geezer himself. Leeds United have been linked with him for a very long time, and Mr. Angus Kinnear revealed that Leeds were actually relatively close to getting the playmaker. Emi Buendia was reported to have been put down on Leeds United's shortlist after losing Jorginho Rutter and Chris Sourcefield III. However, Kinnear came out to reveal that it soon became clear that Aston Villa had no intentions of letting Emi Buendia leave at all. Emi Buendia was on our list, and very clearly from Aston Villa, he was not going to be released. He then went on to state the player did not want to come back down to Championship level. He felt he'd served his time at the Championship level. So a little bit of a gut-wrenching one for Leeds, but the fact that we were interested in him, the fact that they had the stats to shortlist him, I guess goes to show you that Leeds did have some cojones in the transfer market. We just didn't really have a lot of the actual substance to back it up in terms of actually getting a lot of the deals done. But the fact we were willing to go in for a guy like Emi Buendia, or supposedly went in for him, why could we not splash the cash a little bit more in certain more realistic prospects? That's what I don't quite understand. That's the thing. That's, 2 plus 2 is kind of making 3.75 right now. It's not quite adding up to 4, but we move on to Mr. Wilfried Gnonto, of course, signing a contract extension over at Ellen Road to the 27-28 season, which of course surprised quite a lot of us. And this kind of goes on, this article over here goes to talk on how likely is it that Leeds United are going to be able to keep him for another year. Now, that is a question I want to pose to you guys. Do you think in the godforsaken land that Leeds United do not get promoted this year, that we're able to keep him after we've signed him down to a new deal? Because I really don't think we do. Because reportedly, he doesn't have a release clause in his contract either. But I did want to run through a couple of his statistics as well. 39 appearances, 8 goals, 2 assists last year, 22 chances created, 47.5 dribble percentage and success percentage, and 99 touches in the opposition box. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. Do you think Wilfried Gnonto is the man to get us up? And if we don't go up, is he someone that you think is worthwhile keeping around? Now, speaking of someone Leeds United failed to get a hand on, it was Dinamo Zagreb's Martin Bartrauma, who was reported by Leeds United to have submitted a £25 million bid, which was accepted by by the club, by Zagreb, but then rejected later on by Bartrauma. There's been a lot of stories about this over the summer, and now apparently Man United are snipping on the heels of Leeds United's target. Just one to keep our eyes on, and if he does go over there, it does mean, Leeds have dodged a bullet, because everyone Man United seem to be signing these days turns to absolute dishwater. It's me again, and I heard that some of you were telling the other James about our little secret last time, alright? This time, it stays strictly between me and you, okay? And rumour has it 68.7% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed, which means you're going to miss out on all the future content that other James has to offer you. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and maybe even tick on the notification bell as well if you want to stay up to date with everything on the channel. But hey, this stays between me and you, okay? No more ratting me out. Let's get back to the video. Now, speaking of something that isn't dishwater, this is the huge, mouth-watering, eyeball-drenching story that Leeds United fans have been craving for a long, long time. I've been talking about this for as long as it's been linked. You guys have been talking about this for as long as it's been linked. Leeds United's stadium expansion. I was about to say contract extension. No, stadium expansion. Where Leeds United are reportedly, we thought, were going to be moving to a 58,000/60,000 seater capacity stadium. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What capacity would you be happy with? And if you do increase it, do you think it could potentially impact Leeds United's famous atmosphere? We'll talk on that later. But Angus Kinnear did come out on the Squareball podcast, as we aforementioned earlier on in the show. And he did have some very, very exciting things to say. The good news about the stadium is that for the first time in a 6.5 or 7 years that I've been involved in the club, we've got some real traction behind the stadium. The 49ers committed a multi-million-pound sum on putting together a project team which has environmentalists, transport planners, a design team, structural engineers, and mechanical engineers. That team is now meeting 2 or 3 times a week with a view of submitting a planning application. Hurry up and get that damn submitted, because I'm on the season ticket waiting list and I want to get my ass down there, baby. At the moment, it is looking like it is going to be 53,000 seats. That's the most economic number. Within that, you'll also get a sense of the broad split between, which hasn't been decided yet. Very key there. Has not been decided yet. Subject to change, if you will. GA, aka general capacity for us laymen's out there, and hospitality seats. But there will be a significant increase in general admission, as well as an increase on premium seats on that side as well, because the West Stand doesn't really have any workable hospitality as it stands. These hospitality seats, which could cost more to buy and could come with food or bar access at various levels, will be critical in paying for the redevelopment over the long term at Leeds United. Kinnear does, though, insist that general admission berths will also be a sizable promotion. There's no hiding from the fact that increasing the number of premium seats will be part of the plan, and that's why the planning applications are underway for the West Stand and the North Stand. He said the vision at the moment is that the North Stand would not have any hospitality at all, which is very, very key. Extremely key. And the West Stand would have an increase in hospitality to fund. Now, the reason why it is key for the North Stand to not have any hospitality seat is because the North Stand and the South Stand are the two biggest stands, or the two biggest cohorts of die-hard Leeds United fans. Now, what do I mean by die-hard Leeds United fans? You'd argue that anyone that goes to a game is a die-hard Leeds United fan, but I'm talking the regulars, and not just regulars, but the people that go there to make an atmosphere, the people that wear their heart on their sleeve from minute 1 to minute 90th. They don't sit down the entire game. They aren't even told to sit down the entire game. They're singing songs, they're chanting, no matter what's going on the pitch. They're screaming their lungs out. Maybe they're swearing, maybe they're singing passionately, who knows, maybe they're chanting, who knows what they're doing, but they're creating a lively atmosphere. North Stand and the South Stand. I would actually argue, from my experience in both, maybe it's because the stand is smaller, and this could go to say, is this a good thing that Leeds are necessarily getting this expansion? Is that I believe the South Stand is actually a little bit more raucous from my experience. But then again, it is also near the away fans, so that's something that incites them. So there's arguments to be had either side. There are fears from people, and I want to know what you guys think. Do you fear that Leeds bringing in this increased capacity, especially with, I know, even if it's a small cohort, even if it's 10% of the seats being hospitality seats, that is going to create a general bigger arena of people, and therefore a higher possibility that those people aren't quite as loud, overall, and it might disperse the number of loud people and loud sections in the stadium. You look at White Hart Lane, phenomenal design stadium, atmosphere doesn't quite live up to what it did in the old White Hart Lane. Do you fear that with Leeds United? Is that just the inevitable? Is that something that we're going to have to put up with and just have to say, listen, this is the modern day, we want a bigger stadium if we want to compete at the top level of these competitions? Let me know what you guys think about that. What do you guys think about the potential increase in hospitality seats? Do you think the game has gone? I do believe it is something that is just part and parcel of the game and something that needs to happen. But it's very interesting to say the least. Anyway, now in other news, the big man, Senior Daddy tier subscription Firpo, has given Leeds United the green light to work out a contract extension at Ellen Road. This is according to Team Talk. The Outlet's website reported that the left-back is very, very happy with the Whites and ready to commit his future to the club, although he would like to know his intentions and ambitions. He would like to know the intentions and ambitions in West Yorkshire before he signs, obviously, because he is on pretty decent wages. He's coming into the last year of his contract, and it's, I believe, going to really depend on Leeds United getting promoted. Now, the reason I think they're kind of taking their time is if we do get promoted, I think they will want to reinvest into him. But the wages that he's going to need or require at the championship levels, we've seen the way that the 49ers operate. We've seen the way that they like to spend money, which is not, too... it's a bit frugally, should I say? Not frugally. The word's gone. The game's gone. The word's gone. But they're a little bit tight with the money that they release, shall we say, which is intelligent in a way. And I don't believe that if we do stay in the championship, they will want to sign him down. That's my only fear. I'd like them potentially to maybe come to a deal where they say, listen, mate, we want to sign you to a 1 or 2 year extension. We're going to say if we get promoted, your wages are going to increase to this. If we don't get promoted, your wages are going to stay at this. And then we can have a conversation in the summer as to whether you want to leave after this year. But then he might just look at it and say, listen, if you're not going to commit to me, then I might as well not sign a contract and then go and sign for someone else for free, which is a very good point to make. So it's a difficult situation to look at. But anyway, he has given them the green light and they are in deep contract negotiations as we speak. Now, speaking of someone who has just signed for Leeds United on the hand, Ramazani reveals where Leeds United outrank Real Madrid in the first Ellen Road outing. He goes on to state that Leeds United's atmosphere at Ellen Road was one of the craziest things that he's ever experienced, saying that it was actually a lot more intimidating than when he went as an away player to Los Blancos, aka Real Madrid, aka the Santiago Bernabeu. And he said that, even Leeds' yes chant, the yeah chant, was actually, the LA Night yeah chant, was actually louder than Real Madrid chanting or celebrating when they scored a goal, which is quite phenomenal. And it goes to show you, these small stadiums, the compact old school stadiums, are actually better when it comes to atmosphere. And Leeds fans are just absolute beautiful nut jobs, just like me, just like you. We're all bloody crazy, mate. That's one of the beautiful things about Leeds United as well. But maybe that's just something we've got to get used to. Is the atmosphere going to change? We'll have to find out. But let me know what you guys think about all of these news stories down in the comment section down below. Though for now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir.